on this one, I think we might need... I don't know. I'm not super savvy when it comes to that kind of grammatical situation. I want someone to tell me I'm good at what I do. I want someone to see me and think, all right, we're going to say I want them to see me and think, wow, she's something. I'm going to check with a friend on that grammatical there, because I don't know if that's correct. I'm pretty sure it's not, but we're going to find out another time. I'm almost positive this is correct, but I hate this, so I don't want to do that. I could just Google it. Let me Google it real quick. Hang on. To do a quote inside of a quote. Okay, let's see here. Quotes. Yep, I was right. I still hate it. I just hate it. Ugh. I want someone to tell me I'm good at what I do. I want them to see me and think, wow. Kristen's voice cracked. And it's not necessary. I know I like it, but again, it's not necessary and it's wordy. Wow, she's something. I work so hard. I want someone to see that and appreciate it. More shoulders squared. You got it all wrong, Chris. You got it all wrong, Chris. You got to figure out how to be good enough for yourself. Because let me tell you, it's almost impossible to be good enough for everyone else out there. Again, we're going to have to fix this because yada yada yada. So you got it all wrong, Chris. You're going to have to figure out how to be good enough for yourself. Because let me tell you, it's almost impossible to be good enough for other people. Be good enough for me? Kristen laughed. Where'd you pick that up? I don't care if you laugh, it's true. I'm going to say I don't care if you laugh at me. I don't care if you laugh at me, it's true. Even the best people need help. Whatever you think they see in Hannah, I guarantee she goes home exhausted because of all the director notes she's got to remember. No one's great. We're going to take out the M dash because I hate them. I hate them so much. No one's great. Some people are great, Kristen snapped. And some people get to be good. I get the joy of being perfectly average for the rest of my life. Okay. I changed it to pleasure just because I think it flows better. Some people are great, Kristen snapped, and some people get to be good. I get the pleasure of being perfectly average for the rest of my life. So what? Okay, so a lot of comment that I've been getting lately is, yes, that is technically a grammatically correct thing to have the question mark and the exclamation point after it, but really it's going to boil down to show, don't tell. So what I want to do is have Laura react in a way that's like very, so what? But I already had Kristen throw up her hands over here, so I want to do like something a little different. Laura, step forward, glaring into Kristen's face. We'll leave that for now. I have worked for 10 years. And we're actually going to keep that M dash because I do want Laura to interrupt her. A lot of people work a lot harder for a lot longer and never make it. And you got to learn to be okay with that. We're going to change this up to be grammatically correct. What, you mean like you? Kristen chuckled through the humor. Kristen chuckled, though the humor went missing in her tone. That's a dumb sentence. I think I was trying to avoid using the word was. Was is a perfectly acceptable word, by the way. You don't want to overuse it, but like, don't get full of yourself like I do. Be reasonable. Use the word was. There's nothing wrong with it. So Kristen gave a sarcastic chuckle. An actress who got 2 commercials and a couple of haunted house gigs in the last how many years? I don't think it needs dash. How long have you been here? Laura breathed deep but barely kept calm. That's a dumb sentence. Laura took a deep breath, her voice wavering. Okay, yeah, I've been at this a while too, but if you think I'm going to, oh wow, I just can't even read through this, but if you think I'm going to stop. And I'm going to leave that M dash as well because I like it. I like that she gets interrupted. I like that they're talking over each other. Yeah, whatever. Kristen turned back to the railing. Just leave me alone. I feel sorry for you, Laura jabbed. A last shot making some impact. Okay, again, this is head hopping. We're in Kristen's head. We don't know that Laura's taking a jab at her to try and make some kind of impact. So we're just going to say Laura jabbed and stormed away, ponytail whipping behind her. And that's good enough. Kristen was already pulling out another cigarette before Laura could disappear. Yeah, well, she muttered quietly, lips wrapping around the orange paper. You're not the only one. Okay. Pulled out another cigarette as Laura disappeared is better because it gives more like inaction. Like I said, is not a bad word. Go ahead and feel free to use it. But there has been research done recently, and I will try and find a link to the research and put it in the video or like in the description. And I do want to make a video on that actual research paper soon, but there has been some research done recently where it says that people remember things better when they are in the form of active rather than passive. And anytime you use the word was, it does become a more passive sentence. So it does help keep the reader's attention and help them remember the story better if you can make more active descriptions rather than using was as a crutch. So now let's read through it because I think it's a lot better than it was before. We're way under the word limit, which is great. And then we're going to talk about the story as a whole. So the door slammed shut and the sound of Kristen's boots stormed down the foyer, almost covering the faint click of her lighter. Her purse slammed against the wall, spewing out her wallet, loose bills, and whatever else could escape. She didn't bother to take off her coat. Oh. She marched out onto the dingy balcony and spit cigarette smoke over the rails. Bad day? Kristen's roommate Laura set off a ripple of revulsion. Shut up. Ooh, terrible day. Laura rounded the corner and stood in the doorway with her arms crossed and her hips cocked. Like Kristen needed that kind of stepmother's touch. You're not going to be much of a soprano sucking on those. Then I'll be a mezzo or an alto. At least the world doesn't get enough of those to choke a horse. So you're mad about being a dime a dozen? Laura snorted, and Kristen's skin crawled. You knew that coming to New York. What was it tonight? Another audition you didn't get called to? Kristen dropped the news like a lead weight. Hannah got sick. Oh, wow, Laura stammered. Like, how bad? Mono. She's out. Who's your secondary? Kristen took a long puff of her cigarette and said through smoke didn't have one. They held auditions for the chorus. Laura's brow rose. So you tried out? Yeah. And they said no? Kristen put her cigarette out on the railing. Yeah. They said no. Laura's mouth opened in shock and her head shook back and forth in pity. I'm sorry. That sucks. Boop. Don't need in pity because that's head hopping. They said I needed more experience. Kristen feigned a wicked smile, coyly twirling her hands until she mocked the director in a carefree voice. Suggested I watch videos of divas like Francine Moore and Julia Haggerty. I coached Haggerty last August. Laura fidgeted with the hem of her shirt, dropping her gaze. What do they want you to learn? What does it matter? Kristen threw up her hands. I've been in this game 10 years. How much more experience do they want? I can't keep doing this. I don't get it. What do you want? I want someone to tell me I'm good at what I do. I want them to see me and think, wow. Kristen's voice cracked. She's something. I work so hard. I want someone to see that and appreciate it. Laura's shoulders squared. You got it all wrong, Chris. You're going to have to figure out how to be good enough for yourself, because let me tell you, it's almost impossible to be good enough for other people. Be good enough for me? Kristen laughed. Where'd you pick that up? I don't care if you laugh at me, it's true. Even the best people need help. Whatever you think they see in Hannah, I guarantee she goes home exhausted because of all the director notes she's got to remember. No one's great. Some people are great, Kristen snapped. Then some people get to be good. I get the pleasure of being perfectly average for the rest of my life. So what? Laura stepped forward, glaring into Kristen's face. I have worked for 10 years. A lot of people work a lot harder for a lot longer and never make it. And you've got to learn to be okay with that. What, you mean like you? Kristen gave a sarcastic chuckle. An actress who got 2 commercials and a couple of haunted house gigs in the last how many years? How long have you been here? Laura took a deep breath, her voice wavering. Okay, yeah, I've been at this a while too. But if you think I'm going to stop you, whatever. Kristen turned back to the railing. Just leave me alone. I feel sorry for you. Laura jabbed and stormed away, ponytail whipping behind her. Kristen pulled out another cigarette as Laura disappeared. Yeah, well, she muttered quietly, lips wrapping around the orange paper. You're not the only one. Okay. So I like this a whole lot better than I did before. I think it's really coming together. The only issues I have with it as an audience or as a reader is that I'm not sure anything changes. I'm not really sure what the point is of this other than to show me a little snapshot of Kristen's bad day. I think I need to go in and rewrite it in a way that Kristen decides to quit altogether or to persevere. This is like her tipping point, and I gave you, as an audience and a reader, a snapshot of which road she has come to the crossroads, which one she could take. She can go this way or that way. But I didn't give you any satisfaction in knowing which way she chose. So I think I do need to go back and consider rewriting it in a way in which Kristen chooses either to quit or to keep going, or something that changes her life in some way. But other than that, I'm really happy with it. I changed a couple of grammatical things here and there that I caught as I was going through it again. And yeah, that just kind of gives you into a snapshot or a picture into how I edit, how I review my work, what I'm looking for, what I go over, just little tidbits here and there. But let me know what you think. And I will be back later with another flash fiction or short fiction, something along those lines of my own. And then eventually I'll be doing some of my friends' stuff. So thank you again and have a nice day.